Hey guys, have I got a treat for you today? In this video, as you can tell, I am making my first ever clown wreath, and so here I have the mask, and I'll tell you right now, I bought the wrong mask. Again, I didn't really see tutorials or anything on this. I just saw pictures on Pinterest and thought, oh, that would be cool for me to make for my oldest daughter. So I bought the mask, not doing much research on it, and didn't notice that it didn't have eyes because it's a human costume mask. Anyway, so here I am. I actually have some eyeballs that I had bought for something else, and so here I am thinking I'm just gonna be able to hot glue it in there. Nope, didn't work. And as you'll see, I think I did try to use some super glue. I did think the eyes went really well with the mask, so thankfully I had that. As you see, I'm struggling. I'm just pulling the hot glue off. And I don't know what I was thinking. I used some Gorilla Glue, like super glue or something. But it was supposed to be on there for like 2 hours, and I was just like, okay, I don't have time for that. I'm working with what I have and trying to figure it out at the same time, so you'll see all my mistakes in here. So when I realized that that wouldn't work, I went digging through the house and found some white duct tape. And I don't show putting it on, but that's how I actually attach the eyeballs. So I cut a square off of the duct tape, and I put the eyeball on the duct tape in the center, and then I just attached it to the inside of the mask like I'm doing here with just the duct tape, and surprisingly it held really well. So I used that duct tape brand duct tape, and it worked really well. So thank goodness the Lord was on my side. And here I am. I messed up on the, let's just say this is the hair part, and I got this not Halloween, it's fall mesh from Hobby Lobby, and I really liked it. It had a little white and the orange in it, and I thought it would just give it a little bit of different color, and so that's what I got. My original way that I had planned on doing this wreath did not turn out properly, so I had already cut it, most of it about 10 inches long, and then just realized after I got quite a bit of the mesh onto the wreath frame that it was not going to work out. I had the wrong wreath frame, so I'm just using a normal Dollar Tree one. And this is actually like a poly mesh, and you see this one really stuck on everything, on itself, on my shirt. I've got all these little fuzzies now because it kept pulling on my shirt. But what I did is I just take 2 of the 10-inch pieces, and I kind of try to curl the underside in and kind of do a ruffle, and I do a white part on each end that way. And I'm hoping to be able to, get it a little not so standard. It's just kind of willy-nilly when I put it all into the frame. So I just cut some pipe cleaners that I had in half, and I tied it around, and as you see, I've got most of my deco mesh on there. And I will say that I am only covering 3 sections, and I'm using the inner 2 rings per section to attach the mesh. And again, this is just the hair portion of the wreath. Now I did see some other pictures where a lot of them were with just the curl method as far as how the hair was, and if you've watched me for any amount of time, you would probably know that I don't like the curl method very much. I'll do it every once in a great while, but I prefer to either do just the ruffle or the cruffle. And so that's how I was trying to improvise with these pieces. And I did not want to do the did not want to do the curls. So it's okay how it's turning out, looking like a kind of like a hot mess as the hair on a scary clown would. And here I'm just taking on the last three. In the two inner rings, I am putting one pipe cleaner. And then in the second and third ring, I'm putting two pipe cleaners. Now, typically, I will do two pipe cleaners on the outer two rings. But I thought for this one would be a little bit different. Because I'm actually going to be using some mesh that was left over from another project I had, and I basically cut them at 15 inches, and I'm trying to do the cruffle method first. And y'all, again, this was a wreath on the fly. Like, for days I wondered how I was gonna put the mesh on, and like I said, I just didn't have the right wreath frame, didn't have the right mask. I just kind of went with it. So I had red, a maroon, and black. And I just, like I said, did the cruffle method at first and put a red, maroon, and a black in each section. So I did all the black on the inner rings. And then, as you see here, I did a red, a maroon, and then I do a red and a maroon, red and maroon right next to each other. And you'll see where I put the black. And the pipe cleaners, yes, they are white. That's all I had that was on hand right away. You could definitely use a black one or any color. I would have preferred to have black, but I think I ran out of black on something else that I made. So once I did that with all of the three sections, I take another 15-inch piece and I just ruffle it. I don't do the curls, I do just the ruffle, and I attach that right on top of the other cruffle that I did. And it's just going to give it a little more depth to the wreath. And so then I'll do the same with all the other ones, the maroon and the black, to finish out the entire wreath. So I used an entire roll of the orange and white for the hair. I used an entire roll and cut everything at 10 inches. And then for the clown suit, the top of it, there's 12 pieces at 15 inches each of the maroon, red, and black. Now, if somebody out there has a better way of doing this, I would love to see it. I was trying to do like these little starbursts. Kind of like you see some of the flowers where the ends are pointy. That's where on the deco mesh, that's what I tried to do. But again, it just wasn't turning out right. So, and I didn't want to have to go to Hobby Lobby and buy another roll, because I think ultimately that's what I would have had to have done. So I take all the pipe cleaners, and once I have all of the mesh on, then I just take the pipe cleaners and cut them down and stick the cut ends into the deco mesh. So y'all, this is a hot damn mess, and this is a hot mess, And like I said, I got the wrong mask, so here I am trying to just glue in some of the mask. I guess I could have cut the hair and stuff off, but I was trying to use it to my advantage. And thankfully, this is going to my daughter because this looks an absolute mess in the back. But after it was done, like, couldn't tell that much, but I could always go back and cover the back of the mask with black felt if I needed to. So I'm just taking some of this floral wires and I am trying to tighten up the mask a little bit. So since this was supposed to be for an adult to actually wear, then it actually had the holes in the ears and stuff as well. So I'm just taking some of this wire and trying to attach it. Hot gluing a piece of it was okay, but it just didn't do a whole lot. And here I just have a Walmart bag stuffed with more Walmart bags to try to get the face to fill out. And then I take that wire and move it across to the other ear just to fasten it together so it will hold its shape some. That was a lot easier than the top portion. I guess I could have did the top portion better if I had something that could have punctured holes. Maybe I could have used a drill or something, but I just didn't. And so what I did use more of that duct tape, and I wanted to hold down the hair and stuff on the duct tape. I guess I could have cut that off as well, but again, I'm trying to utilize part of the mask in the back to help fill out the rest of the mask. So here I am just cutting off a piece of duct tape, or a couple of pieces of duct tape, and that's what I'm going to use to kind of close up the top portion of his head. It's not the prettiest thing, but it works. I do go ahead and trim off the edges, the extra pieces of the tape, just to make sure that not a lot of it covers the side of the mask, because I don't want it showing when I actually attach the mask to the wreath. And y'all, please don't let my wreath deter you from making your own. Just make sure you're going ahead and getting the right material that you need. One of the wreath boards that you could get is one of the UTIC boards, and it's got all the holes already punched into it. It's like a thicker plastic board with a bunch of holes in it, and you can, that will help you a whole lot better than this did. I just attached some pipe cleaners onto the bottom where the wire was. I wrapped it around the bottom on each side to attach to the wreath, and then I hot glued a piece of pipe cleaner to the top where the tape is, and not pulling too tight because the mask was so large that it was already kind of sitting in the wreath frame pretty well, but I just wanted to make sure I had that little extra something, and so I added it on there. And as you can see, this here is where you could take and clean up the back as far as where the mask part is, and getting something around and covering that up so you won't have to see it. But again, this is for my daughter. She's not going to be picky about the back of it. She's very appreciative. She was just excited to know that I was going to make this wreath for her. But here it is. I hope you like it, and thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great day.